Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Genshin just released the version 5.8 update, and with it we got a brand new Stygian Onslaught lineup, and a lot of people are interested in seeing dire difficulty clears. Before we get into it though, I wanted to clarify that I was not able to get a full clear in this difficulty. The best I could do was clear 2 out of 3 bosses. However, I did manage to clear each boss with different teams, so I decided to showcase them in today's video. Up first is the Void Plant. The clear you're seeing right now is using a C2R1 Codex Mavuika, C6R5 Desert Sage's Aeon Sun, C1 Auroron on Favonius, and a C5 Chevreuse using the catch. Since the Papilla doesn't take any damage during its shield phase, weapon passives that rely on dealing damage to proc, such as Favonius or Sacrificial, just don't work against it. Auroron is using Favonius due to the lack of a better option. This mechanic can be very challenging to overcome as your ER requirements are going to be much higher than usual. Its shield is much more susceptible to Night Soul aligned damage, so as long as you have a Natlan main DPS, this fight shouldn't be too difficult. The best ones for it are Chaska and Kinich by far, so if you have good teams for these units, you should have no trouble getting your clear. I noted that during the shield phase, it helps to spam N2C dash on Mavuika, as it does a couple more hits compared to just holding down your charged attack. When the shield is down, I'm doing the usual 2C dash spam. The second clear I want to showcase uses the same C2R1 Mavuika but with some 300 more EM, C0R1 Sitlolly on Cinder City, C6 Bennett with almost 290 ER, and C0R1 Silunin on 4-piece Instructor. You can use this comp to clear the Papilla as well, and it's much easier than versus the Turtle, as you don't have to worry about having too many damage instances. The Turtle boss has a mechanic where if you do too many hits too quickly, it will enter its shield phase and generate a massive 32 gauge electro shield that will deal a lot of damage to you every time you hit it. Because of this, I found that if you're able to beat it without ever proccing its shield, you can clear it a lot faster. If you noticed at the start, I used a charged attack and a dash on Mavuika before swapping to Bennett, as this consumes just enough Night Soul to avoid her off-field application from doing too many hits before her DPS phase. The Mavuika combo I'm using here is Q, wait for cryo application, 2C1 CA dash cancel, wait, hold E and dash away, making sure not to hit the boss. All this is to minimize the number of hits I'm doing while maximizing DPS, and I used a similar technique for my Fearless clear using my C1R1 Arlecchino, which you should definitely check out. The best unit versus this boss is Mualani, and I have also seen premium Skirk teams brute force it by delaying its shield phase by freezing it and shredding the shield by overwhelming it with roughly 1 million cryo hits. Now comes my favorite boss by far. Unlike the other 2 bosses, it is much less restrictive to any one nation of DPS units, and it also doesn't have an annoying shield phase. That being said, it can be very difficult to clear if you don't use an Electro or Hydro damage comp due to its greatly increased resistances to all the other elements. It takes 3 times the amount of Lunar Charged and Electro Charged damage, and these reactions also help to clear its hat phase much faster. I want to credit at Scrolls of Impact for this team idea, and I'll link their clear in the description as well in case anyone is curious. I'm using my C4R1 Emblem Raiden, C6R1 Elegy Sara also on 4-piece Emblem, C2R5 Favonius Farina on 4-piece Gilded Troop, and C0R5 Oathsworn Eye Shen Yun using 4-piece Viridescent Venerer. I had so much fun playing this comp, but I will say the rotation is extremely tight and there's little to no room to mess up since the DPS check is very high. but for a main DPS that was released almost 4 years ago, to be able to clear it speaks volume in my opinion. I also want to add here that this boss had an issue where if your ping was too high, breaking its ward would deal no damage to it. This bug has since been fixed, so if you gave up trying to clear it early on, you might want to give it another try. The second team I cleared the idol with uses a C1R1 Neuvillette, C2R5 Favonius Forina, C0R1 Silanin still using 4-piece Instructor, and C1R5 Favonius Oraron on 4-piece Cinder City. This comp does deal more damage than the Raiden comp you saw earlier, and I managed to get a 103 second clear as you'll see at the end, but I forgot to record it, and I spent the next hour trying to replicate it but only managed to get a 106 second clear before giving up. The best teams for this boss all include Anefa, the latest 5-star character released, as per usual, but it's much more forgiving if you don't have her. Overall, I think that this boss lineup is a little bit better than last cycle, though not by much, due to Secret Source Automaton being a creature, and I felt like it was replaced by the turtle, which sucks just as hard. Regardless though, I'll be satisfied as long as I can full clear up to Fearless, since that gives me all the rewards that could potentially make my account stronger and not worry too much about dire difficulty, since it isn't really meant for free-to-play players anyway. I'm planning to make a video similar to this for Fearless mode as well, so be on the lookout for that. I'd appreciate if you comment what you thought of this video, since this is a first of a kind for me, as well as which teams you used for your clears. As always, I will link the builds video and the music in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.